Quick question. What would it feel like to actually take a day off without guilt, to raise your tuition with confidence, delegate more, and finally see your salary reflect all the energy you pour into your studio? That's exactly what we're doing inside my 9 week group coaching program that starts in July. Real results, real support, real change in your mindset, your money, and how you lead. If you're ready to feel lighter and more in control, apply now at thestudioownerlifecoach.com. You don't have to do this alone. Let's get it. Hey guys, today I want to talk about email marketing. I know for a long time people have been saying email is dead, email is inefficient, people don't read their email, no one responds, and there's so many complaints about emails. But when you listen to people in the online business spaces, they are talking about email as solid gold. They talk about email marketing as the number one way that they generate millions of dollars in their business. And so I thought it would be important to bring this message to the dance studio world. We are in a time right now where it seems like the only way to generate revenue in our business is to set up paid ads on Facebook and then generate those leads into trial classes. Now, that is still an effective means of getting new people into your studio. But what I'm also seeing is that people are spending countless hours designing graphics in Canva, putting things together, trying to make silly, entertaining videos, trying to go viral, but that doesn't actually translate into dollars. There's studios with thousands of followers that are struggling to get enough students in the door. You see, likes and follows simply do not correlate to profits. One of the reasons why email works is because you are not dependent on the algorithm. You're not dependent on whether or not your content is getting shown. I've seen figures as low as 2% of your followers will actually see your content. So if you have 100 followers, 2 people would see your organic post. That's your unpaid advertising on Facebook or Instagram. So, as you do the math and you go along and you look at what's on Instagram, what's on Facebook, you're posting these things. Are you simply reaching people who are already your customers in hopes that they might share with a friend, but they probably won't? And you end up spending hours and hours doing quote unquote marketing, and you're not seeing results and you're feeling frustrated. So, let's dive in to 4 ways that I think it is important not to give up on email marketing today. So, the first thing is email marketing is a great way to promote your various offerings, whether you're doing birthday parties, dance classes, art classes, private lessons, you name it. Those are great opportunities for content that you can include in strategic email marketing. When you do this, it's going out to people on your list, and you might have hundreds of people on your list consisting of current students, former students, and prospective students. Making sure that you take advantage of the data that you have will help your email marketing go even further. This is what I mean by that. Let's say you have a combination of online posts through a Facebook ad, and you're getting leads in, and you're also getting leads in from your website. You might have a bunch of people who have responded to these different advertising and website things saying that they're looking for preschool classes. Now, when it's time to email and send out a targeted email, it's important to actually segment, just like you're trying to choose the audience that you're trying to market to in your Facebook ad. You want to do the same thing in your email. Send the email to people who have children in that age bracket. There's no sense in sending that to the high school students, hoping that maybe they have a connection with someone that they babysit who has a 3-year-old. Instead, target your emails so that people don't get the sense that I'm getting a bunch of information, but it's nothing that's relevant to me, and then hit unsubscribe. When you send people exactly the information that pertains to them, they're more actually opening the emails, reading the emails, and even sharing the information with friends. So that's the first thing. Look at ways to include people by category. You might want to include people who've inquired about private lessons, or you might have a system where maybe 45 to 60 days before a student's birthday, you send them a special promotional email for birthday parties at your studio. These are things just like you schedule social media posts and figure out what you're going to offer in advance on social media. You can use that same thinking to plan your email campaigns. At a minimum, I would recommend sending an email, a marketing email specifically, to your list at least once a month. And you want to promote these things that you are doing in your studio. So, that private lesson email, maybe you've got people who they've missed a bunch of classes and you want to target them. Maybe you've got adult students who want specific classes that you don't offer um, in a group setting. You can find ways to make this work. Now, the second thing, when you compare paid ads to email marketing, you're going to see obviously some difference. One of the things that is so satisfying about sending emails and doing it through a service where you can track opens and link clicks and reactions and forwards and replies, it helps you get a better sense of the analytics. Now, there's certainly meta analytics where you can see what's happening with your ad, how many impressions, how many clicks, and start to piece together the picture. But it's not as satisfying as looking in your email analytics and saying, oh, 55 people opened it, and then these 14 clicked on it. And what link did they click on? Now you know there's people who are interested. Maybe they're curious, they want to know more. You can further segment your next email campaign to target the people who have actually shown interest after opening and reading the email. You can see in your stats in most different softwares, you can see, did they just skim the email? Did they skip the email? Did they mark it as spam? Whatever it is, instant feedback as you see them interacting with your email marketing. That takes me to another point. I had mentioned earlier that you're at the mercy of the algorithm when you're posting online. People are spending hours upon hours trying to design things in Canva. For what? 5 people to see them? While it's interesting to say, oh, it's Misty Copeland's birthday and do a post, is it as relevant as sending out an email with specific information to promote a class, maybe a class that has low registration? Target people specifically for the things that you want to fill, things that need additional registration. Give them the information, and you can plug in all the details, your links, the class description, the times that it meets, and the price, and have ChatGPT help you generate the email so that you have something quick and easy that you can get scheduled and sent out. When you think about times when people are checking their email versus when they're on their phone scrolling through social media, it's a different level of intent. When you're on your phone scrolling through social media, it's usually out of boredom or just trying to find something for entertainment, right? That's why things just get passed by. They might like something, but they're not commenting, sharing, or taking action because they're in entertainment, mindless scrolling mode. Now, when someone goes into their inbox, nobody's going to read their emails for entertainment. It's about staying abreast of what's going on, looking for information so they don't miss something amongst all the things that are going on in their life, and catching up on what's happening, things that have come in their inbox and maybe they've marked it as unread and they want to get back to it later. You see, not many people see a social media post and then mark it as unread because you can't do that, right? They can't mark it as unread to come back to it later and to make sure that they add it to their calendar and to make sure that they take action to get their kid registered. So, there's a lot of benefits here to using email marketing. And in a time and place where everybody is so heavily going to Facebook marketing, be different, stand out by reaching them directly in their inbox, not hoping that they'll see your message from all the other things that are hitting the algorithm. All right. Number three, you can test ideas before building out entire programs. You can actually have an idea that you want to bring to light. Maybe it's a new after school program, a weekend, parents' night out. Send information out in your emails, and you can have people add themselves to an interest list, or maybe get on the wait list, or let me know, be on the first to let me know when this new thing is offered. Before you take the time and effort to build out this whole new program and design the logo and all the things, you can simply send out an email introducing this and seeing what it is that people respond to. If no one seems interested, no one clicks on the link, nobody replies, nobody adds their name to a wait list, then maybe that's your opportunity before creating the program to kind of tweak things, change the name, add a different element to it. It's a way to test things and see what is the consumer sentiment around whatever it is you're trying to offer. And now, number four, you probably could email people more often because emails equal sales. I will tell you this. I had a summer program that I kind of gave my staff a heads up. It may not run. We don't have very many students signed up, and we might just have to cancel. So I'll be letting you know in the coming weeks, but right now, nothing's happening with this particular program. What I did was send out a series of emails, but targeting specifically the age group for that program and letting people know these are information bits about the program. So the first email was, this is the theme for the week, this is what we're doing, these are what the activities look like. The next email was an appeal to parents about safety, building up confidence, talking about making new friends and connections, being a nurturing environment. The next one was the benefits to the kids and how kids will enjoy the program, all the nuts and bolts and how excited we are. And what I did was I kept our information top of mind. Now, that last email, by the time it hit them, because it's time of the year at the time I'm recording this, it's the beginning of June, right? And so it was hitting in May, as we know, May, December, where it's so busy, it's like December in the holidays. And so they were getting the information, but people weren't really taking action because there's weddings, there's graduations, first communion, all that. When that email hit, we had people who actually bought. I could see that that person had opened that email, that they clicked the link, and then I saw them register. They completed checkout and paid. The very program I was set to cancel made $1,100 overnight just from sending email. Sending out that email did not cost me nearly as much as the paid advertising on Facebook, where I would hope that these people see this information. And these are people, some of them current students, some of them people who just got on our list, but they never actually enrolled in things. This is a huge opportunity for you to take advantage of the power of email marketing. When you do this, again, target people and email them more often than you think. You can't send one email and say, oh, well, no one wants it. What you need to do is be strategic. At least every 3 weeks, hit them with another version of the information about that program so that they have a chance to think about it, learn about it, get curious about it, get a little more information before they take action to pay. This is particularly true if you're running a summer camp, an intensive, a brand new class on the schedule, whatever it is. You want to plan out at least 3 to 6 months in advance for major changes and major projects or things that cost more than your average thing, because it takes that long for consumers to learn about it, think about it, look at their schedule, forget about it, and then get reminded of it. Once you get that in the pipeline, it just becomes easier and easier for you to schedule a series of emails around your offerings. What I want to say in conclusion is that email is not dead. Sure, it seems so old school to send email marketing, but you know what the reality is? Every time I send out emails from my studio, it actually equals sales. That's right. Every single email marketing campaign that we send out with our studio, we get someone to sign up, check out, pay, or engage in new ways with our studio that correlates to real dollars. And that, my friends, gives us more data, more information than we've gotten on our social media ads. Because with our social media ads, yes, we're getting tens of thousands of impressions, we're getting hundreds of clicks, but we don't know what their intent was. We don't actually see direct correlation to dollars. We don't know who clicked on that particular thing by name and then what action they took. So, one of the things that you can do is combine your paid advertising with email marketing. When somebody clicks your ad, have a way for them to add their information to your list. Maybe they're giving you their email address on your website in exchange for the schedule. Maybe they're signing up for a free trial and you're collecting their email at that time. Make sure that when someone comes to your website in some way, shape, or form, you're able to capture their contact information so that you can nurture the relationship over a period of time until they're ready to become a customer. I hope this information is helpful to you. If you have questions on email marketing, you can reach out to me. It's hello@gingerhaithcox.com. And I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.